slow is the tempo. I'm talking about an info. I just got out of the shower, people. I shouldn't have to tell you about these things, right? But I went to work back in the days of employment. I went to work and I'd do so just after getting out of the shower. I wouldn't bother. Who cares, you know? And I'd turn up and they'd say, have you got greasy hair? No. It's a dash of water within the follicles upon my head, okay? Shout out to Zach. God bless you, Zach. For the first time in my life, I get to actually listen properly to Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's about time, eh? It's about time. What do I know about Lynyrd Skynyrd? I played Freebird a fair few times on Guitar Hero. Was it Guitar Hero 3? Back in the day? Was it Guitar Hero 2? Who knows? Do I know this first song on the album, Sweet Home Alabama? I think I would have to be a tribesman in solitude from society to have not have heard this song before. Am I looking forward to this experience? Yes, and at first glance, what have I got to tell you? I've got to tell you that there's 8 songs on this record, and given that there's 8 songs on this record, we're off to a good start, because I think the 8-song album is the foundation upon which the greatest albums of all time are built upon. Wholeheartedly, honestly. I think 8 concentrated tunes, well-varied tunes on a record it can't get better. 9, 10, 11, 12 is overdoing it. You're spreading yourself too thin. Anything less, you're not giving us enough. 8 is optimal. And I've recognised the pattern through my life that showcases and highlights that fact. Second Helping is the record. I assume that implies it's the second album by this bunch. Shall we just have a... Well, I was going to say, shall we look at some comments? I mean, what insight are they going to give me about Sweet Home Alabama? I'm sure we've all heard this one before, and if you haven't, we've got a pretty good tune coming up. If you genuinely have not heard this song before, I would like you to leave a comment and tell me how you thought of it, because everyone seems to be indoctrinated to love this song, right? Through the media, through syncing with television programs, films, by putting in video games and so forth. So this is going to be a nice, easy listen. I've got places to be later on today, so... you know, I'm happy that this is next on the list for me to do, purely as it seems to be a relatively brief record at 8 songs and not really spanning past 5 minutes on any track, really. We've got 2 tunes that do, but, you know. Sweet Home Alabama, track 1.
1, 2, 3.
Truth be told as well, everybody wants to learn this on guitar, and as a guitarist of a long, long time, this is actually a surprisingly complicated riff to play clean, honestly. Great production on this. You heard that faint twinkling guitar on the left, so I'm gonna... The brilliant thing is you can hear a song 100 million different times, but when I listen to it on this channel, I have to find things to talk about, and then having reason to find things to talk about, I'm able to dig into the production like I wouldn't do casually listening to music. So that twinkling guitar there, pan to the left, is ever so subtle, right? The 7 men don't need him around anymore. Hey, did you know these biker gangs, yeah? Now, I'm not here making accusations or pointing the finger, but I'm just raising awareness, yeah? Most of them are infiltrated to hell and back by secret services and intelligence agencies. Don't ask me how I know that, people. I might know a person or two and knock around in a particular group, but I am not affiliated. But yeah, you know, as cool as they are, any political group, I mean, you can say the bikers and the biker groups are political, but in their own way they are, right? They're divisive in nature. They have a tribal sort of element to them, and they are, you know, pretty antisocial. But any political movement... Actually, to say they're not political, there is some right-wing politic. I know in America, in association with, you know, biker gangs and so forth, but they're all ramshack full of intelligence. I watched a video, or a couple of videos, should I say, on politics, and in particular, you know, infiltration of political groups and their usage of coercion to send groups in one way or another, and, you know, create this grand theatre as to what we see today in the world. And it's absolutely unbelievable because you had these federal informants. So they were literally like, you know, the video in particular I was watching, it was a guy who came from a right-wing Nazi background, and he got put in prison and then got given a deal to become an informant, to become federal. So he didn't lose his political perspective, but he was now a tool of the powers that be, and he would go into these groups and feeding back information from these groups, and when he would go against other groups and find conflict with other groups and go to these meetings and such, he would look at the leaders of the other groups and the high-ranking individuals and officials of these other groups, and they were feds as well. So they're doing the damage. They're causing the problems under the guise of they're trying to stop the problems. It's just this Ouroboros snake eating its own tail situation. Crazy, crazy. That sort of stuff blows my mind, man. It just stops me trusting anything. When I see protests, I'm like, all right, yeah, but why? Why and who and how? All right, we had a protest outside of some hotels here only over the past couple of days, and the literal police, those who are supposed to protect, well, they're not supposed to protect us. Let's not talk about that, who they're supposed to or what they're supposed to protect. But they led the counter-protest. They brought a counter-protest from another fucking place in England to come and argue and have their protest against. Like, they created conflict for the sake of it. And it's like, what? Why is this a thing? They're not for you, people. They don't look after you. It's not their intention. I would know. I used to be a badly behaved boy. Eight of Cups. Yuck. Let me sort this cup of coffee out one moment. Alright, I'm back. I'm struggling with coffee at the moment. I ain't got a French press, have I? And I've bought some flipping granules that just don't dissolve, so... How I'm trying to work this out and drink my coffee, I'm not going to tell you, but it's a long and boring process. No comment. This is fantastic. This was put out in the 70s, man. I assume this is a remaster. At this point, this has to be a remaster. There's no chance that Sweet Home Alabama hasn't been remastered to hell and back. You know what I mean? There's so much money to be made from this one song. But isn't this amazing? The 70s this was put out. Thing is about those fellas on bikes though, the women love them, man. I've met so many good looking women who love dudes on bikes. It's due to the association, they're a bit of a bad boy, innit? The women love him. Honestly, I've met some fucking good looking women who are just like, yeah, you tell me, people. Speaking of women who are into bikers, right? I knew a girl, I dated her for a couple of times. She was alright. And her dad was into bikes, and that's why she was into bikes. And her dad used to drive a truck around, right? Well, like a big moving van. And he'd come across, but I don't know where he'd come across bikes, but he'd chuck them all in the back of this big truck and drive off with them. I didn't ask too many questions, but guess what? She put me on the phone to him one time as a bit of a shit test, see where I stood. And that was because I said Slayer were better than Motorhead. And yeah, I gotta ring my dad for this one. Tell me, Dad. Do you know what I mean? We got I Need You coming up next, track number 2.